Do you want to live a week full of progress, a month with real achievements, and a life where you feel proud of the choices you make? Then accept this truth. It is not your dreams that shape your days, but the routines you repeat again and again. A tiny change each day multiplied by 7 can already transform the way you see yourself. And when the way you see yourself is different, the whole world seems different too. The Stoics understood this long ago. Quiet discipline is stronger than loud promises. They knew that the greatest victories are not given from the outside, but are born inside you, inside your thoughts, your body, and the way you act. They trained like soldiers before battle, quietly, steadily, without needing claps or an audience to cheer them on. And this is exactly what you're about to learn. 7 Stoic practices, 7 tools of focus and strength to protect yourself from doubt and to pull laziness out from its roots. They are simple actions, but they can point your energy in a new direction, bring your willpower back, and connect you again to what is truly important. Because being productive is not about rushing faster. It is about stopping the waste of the time and strength you already own. You might think you don't have enough hours, but the hours are there. They were only stolen by distractions, bad habits, and excuses that you repeat whenever you try to move forward, but end up stopping yourself halfway. Results do not come to people who simply wait. They come to those who get ready. That's why it is necessary to turn thoughts into action and actions into a way of life. From now on, write here in the comments, "Today, I choose to win." Because a new life doesn't start next week. It begins the instant you decide to stop copying the past and begin building the future you want. Before we begin, I only ask you 2 things. Press like on this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, these words can reach others who are also searching for more focus. Now let's begin. 1. Change. Learn. This is what makes you grow. If you are not learning, you are stuck. And being stuck is not rest. It is moving backwards while pretending it is just routine. It arrives quietly with no alarm, like a tiny hole in a boat. At first it looks harmless, but when you notice it, you're already sinking into sameness, boredom, and the strange sense that days are passing while you are not moving forward. You may have felt this before, like watching your own story happen without you, seeing doors open but lacking the strength to walk through them. This is not bad fate, and it is not about missing talent. It is a warning that you stopped growing. Learning is not a gift. It is survival for the mind. It does not rely only on schools or diplomas, but on your ability to change with life, to reshape yourself in front of difficulties. The mind is like a muscle. If you don't challenge it, it grows weak and keeps repeating the same patterns. People who do not learn do not advance. They just spin in the same place like a broken record, playing the same sound until everything becomes dull. Seneca once said, "As long as we live, we must learn how to live." That truth holds in any stage, age, or situation. When you stop learning, you start living on automatic. You answer without thinking, choose without awareness, and suffer without knowing why. Neuroscience proves what the Stoics already knew. A study from Stanford shows that those who keep the habit of learning develop what is called a growth mindset, the belief that improvement is possible even after mistakes. This way of thinking reduces fear of failure and grows courage to try again. Learning shapes the way you think, the way you feel, and even the way you age. But why do so many give it up? Because learning takes effort, and the brain prefers easy repetition instead of real challenge. Because today's world is full of passive entertainment, it is simpler to scroll a screen than to stop and reflect. And because comfort is addictive, we trap ourselves in what we already know. It feels safe, but inside it eats away your purpose, slows your thoughts, and drains your will. Look around you. A business person who stops studying the market loses space. A worker who never updates becomes unnecessary. A relationship without learning how to communicate turns into lifeless routine. A person who no longer questions ends up existing on repeat, but routine only keeps you alive. It does not help you grow. Choose movement. You don't need a fancy degree or a new career tomorrow. Just begin. Read 10 pages of an inspiring book. Watch a lesson that challenges how you see the world. Learn something fresh with someone younger or older. And above all, question your own certainties. Ask yourself, is there a smarter way to look at this? That single question opens doors, breaks limiting thoughts, and bravely places you back on the road of growth. Because what holds you back is often not lack of chance, but lack of inner motion. And this movement only starts when you refuse to keep living stuck. Alvin Toffler once said, "The uneducated of this century will not be those who cannot read, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." Knowledge is everywhere, but no one can absorb it for you. Learning is a deal you make with your future, and if you want a different tomorrow, you must begin learning something new today. So I ask, what will you decide to learn this week? Write in the comments, "Today I choose to learn and never stop growing," because those who grow each day create a life where success is not luck. It is the natural result of their effort. 2. Start the day before your excuses. The days that bring the biggest results don't begin with amazing plans, but with tiny decisions. And the very first one is simple. Stand up. This isn't about jumping out of bed at 5 a.m. or being obsessed with productivity. It's about teaching your mind, the moment you wake, who is truly in control. When you hit the snooze button, without noticing, you're telling yourself, "Today I escape. Today I'll push things away." This habit seems small, but it spreads everywhere. In the workout you skip, in the task you keep delaying, in the message you never answer. Yes slowly turns into maybe. Because when the day starts with giving in, the rest of the hours follow the same tune, the tune of avoidance. Marcus Aurelius already knew this. In his Meditations he wrote, "When the alarm rings and the desire to stay in bed is strong, remember that you were made to act, not to hide under the blankets." It's a hard but honest reminder. You weren't created to sink into comfort, but to grow through action. Rising early doesn't mean leaving bed at 4 in the morning. It means defeating the first urge that tries to steal your willpower. Whether it's 6, 7, or 8 o'clock, the exact time doesn't matter, the movement does. The act of standing before your thoughts, begin inventing excuses is what counts. Laziness is not a partner you can bargain with. She always wins. Think about it. The mind is like a tricky lawyer. It will debate, explain, and dress up every excuse until you end up believing it's better to stay where you are. But the truth is, in that moment, you don't need reasons. You need action. Rising is like pressing the inside switch of discipline. It's telling your body, now is the moment. Even if you're still tired, even without desire, because in that first motion, you are building the muscle of decision. Whoever begins with firmness creates consistency. Picture an athlete, a soldier, or a leader. None of them wait around for motivation to knock on the door. They move first, and then motivation comes later. You can live this way too, as someone who builds trust not with speeches, but with choices. So tomorrow when the alarm rings, get up. Don't overthink. Don't give room for hesitation. Rise with the certainty of someone who already chose not to drift through life on autopilot. And if this thought has already woken something inside you, write here in the comments, "Today I rise before excuses," because the way you wake up shapes the way you live. And those who rise with decision finish the day with direction. 3. Overcome the "tomorrow I'll do it." Seneca said that the biggest loss in life is not making mistakes, but throwing away time. Procrastination steals something you can never get back, the present moment. And it's so easy to say, Tomorrow I'll handle it. Later I'll solve it. Next week I'll start. But this is the sweetest lie in the world. It looks harmless, and exactly because of that, it is deadly. It works like slow poison. Self-sabotage hiding under excuses. Putting things off is how mental trash piles up. Every task ignored turns into weight, into noise, and takes up the valuable space of your mind, the same space you could use to create, to act, to build. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You could be good today, but instead you wait until tomorrow." And in this cycle, tomorrow repeats again and again until days become years, and life doesn't wait as long as you imagine. For the Stoics, the true value of an action is in the now. If something should be done, the moment is now. Procrastination is a kind of arrogance. It's believing without any certainty that there will always be more time. It's pretending that your energy will be the same, that circumstances will be perfect, that the right time will arrive. But deep down, you know it won't. Think of a house left dirty for weeks. Dust grows slowly until the whole place feels heavy and suffocating. The same happens with the mind. Small choices ignored pile up and turn into invisible walls that block you. Seneca called this the greatest waste of life. Every day that passes is taken from us. And when we postpone, we trade the certainty of the present for a future that is not guaranteed. So if something is troubling you, fix it. Start with just one pending task. If there's a hard conversation you've been running from, have it. If there's a choice you've left hanging for weeks, decide it. If you're waiting for the perfect motivation to begin a project still stuck on paper, stop waiting. Move, even if you don't feel like it. You don't need to clear everything today, but you do need to begin. Pick one thing that has been stuck for days, months, or even years. Take the first step now. Send that email, make that call, draw that plan, say yes or no. This week, deal with one unfinished task per day. Not in a rush, but to break the mental prison of later. Each task you leave behind is like an anchor that keeps your boat from moving, even when your sails are ready to fly. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Do the thing you fear and fear will die." Don't wait for the mood or the inspiration. Take clear action. The power lies in beginning. The results will follow with the next steps. And if you are ready to end the cycle of procrastination, write in the comments, "Today I finish what must be done." Because repeating this decision day after day may not change the entire world at once, but it will surely change the path of your own story. 4. Give priority to your nights of sleep. You want to rise early but stay trapped in bed. You want focus and strength but live feeling drained. You want achievements but forget the basics. Your body needs real rest. The issue is not only the hard mornings, it is the way you close your nights. You expect sharp thinking from a tired mind, demand decisions from a body falling apart, and no trick can replace sleep. Sleep is not just a break, it is the center of your mental reset. While you sleep, your brain files memories, balances hormones, calms emotions, and sharpens your ability to decide. It works like a control room making invisible repairs. It is a repair system running at full speed. To neglect it is like refusing to charge your phone and then complaining when it dies. You push yourself but live on low battery. Seneca warned of this centuries before science confirmed it. People fear death, but destroy themselves little by little with endless nights awake, pointless distractions, and work without direction. And that is the truth. Each bad night's sleep erases part of you. You lose energy, yes, but you also lose clarity, balance, and the ability to choose well. Good sleep is not only health, it is strategy. It is honoring the body as the tool of your growth. Seneca practiced quiet walks at sunset, reflection, and the art of teaching his mind to rest. He knew no restless soul can live or sleep in peace. Marcus Aurelius also had his night rituals. Before sleeping, by the light of a lamp, He reviewed his day, admitted his mistakes, reflected on his choices, and ended the night with awareness, never in a rush. You don't need a smart mattress or fancy apps. What you need is purpose. Build your own ritual. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Read something that lifts your spirit. Say a prayer. Write a line in your notebook. Breathe deeply. Give thanks. Close your eyes with calm, not with anxiety. Because good sleep is not laziness, it is preparation. And say to yourself, I care for myself enough not to ruin myself in small details. And if this thought has already risen in you, write in the comments, today I choose rest to live better. Because every strong morning is born from a good night of sleep. And all lasting victories begin in the quiet choice to rest with respect. But there is a catch. If you've been trying for a long time to get out of conformism and ignorance and you can't seem to do it, maybe it's for other reasons that you don't know what's causing it. But I know what it is. It's anxiety. Anxiety comes like a silent snake and poisons you without you feeling it. It leaves you infected for days, months, and even years. And if you have it, it would be like living sick. However, there is an antidote from the Stoics, which, together with modern psychology, can rid you of all this, just as it did me. I made a video showing how you can get rid of this poison in your life. It's in the first comment. Click on the link in the first comment and cure yourself of this anxiety poison. 5. Inner strength is action, not silence. Before any outside victory, there is a body that gets up. Staying still is not true rest. It is escape wearing a disguise. Your body was made to move, to stretch, to test limits, not to bend in front of a screen waiting for motivation, to fall from nowhere. Movement is more than a matter of health. It is a choice to say no to being stuck. It is your body saying, I am alive, and I will not give up on myself. Many imagine Stoics were only quiet thinkers, but the truth is they were people of action. Marcus Aurelius was not just an emperor. He was a general, a soldier, an athlete, and he faced real battles. Seneca threw himself into freezing water to make his body tougher. Socrates walked long distances, sharpening his mind while hardening his endurance. They understood that the body is the tool of the soul. If the body is weak or lazy, no thought can gain real strength. There is a strong story about former US President Theodore Roosevelt. As a child, he was sickly, fragile, and had asthma. His father looked him in the eyes and said, "You have a great mind, Theodore, but you must make your body strong." And that boy, only 12 years old, answered, "All right, I will make myself strong." That was the start of the strenuous life and the change of a weak child into one of the most energetic presidents in history. Seneca once said, "We discipline the body so it does not betray the mind." Strong body, strong mind. Without movement, discipline breaks, energy fades, and even clarity disappears. You don't need to become an athlete. You just need to move, because when the body gives in to laziness, the mind follows. Whoever learns to defeat physical laziness begins to defeat themselves. Exercise is the school of discipline. When you move even without desire, you train the most valuable muscle, consistency. And the one who learns to resist laziness in the body also learns to resist it in life. So make a small promise. For 7 days, move every day. It could be a walk, a stretch, a dance, or even deep breathing between tasks. The effort is not what matters. The commitment is. The message is clear. I don't just watch life pass by. I take part in it. A body that does nothing accepts apathy. A body in motion calls up life energy. This is not about showing off. It is about presence, about protecting your foundation, not out of vanity, but out of honesty. Each step, each move is a quiet reminder. I rise, I keep going. It is through this repetition that the body wakes up and supports the mind through challenges. Because when you move with discipline, your mind begins to trust you. That is where real change is born. Tiredness turns into energy. Apathy turns into drive. Move for the next 7 days. Even if the world is still, even if you don't feel like it, even without applause, your body is listening, and it will answer with more focus, more strength, more life. And if this decision already beats inside you, write in the comments, "I choose to advance. Strong body, steady mind." 6. Forget the judgments. Keep a daily journal. There is a place where doubt turns into understanding, where messy ideas take form, where feelings without order finally find a path. That place is paper. Writing is not something extra or fancy. It's like cleaning the mind. It's the same as taking a shower, but on the inside, you wash away the excess, put order in the mess, and give sense to what before was only emotional noise. Many think they need the perfect notebook, the best pen, pretty handwriting, or special quotes to begin. But the real diary, the ancient kind, was never made to impress. It was made to feel. What counts is not the book itself, but the act of stopping for a few minutes and letting out what was heavy inside. Marcus Aurelius did this every single day. He wrote only for himself, not to shine, not to leave something behind, but to practice and discipline his own mind. What we now call meditations was nothing more than his private notes, where he described his inner battles and reminded himself, "You control your mind, not the outside world." If you understand this, you will have power. This strength is born when you stop thinking only in your head and start putting words on paper with your heart. Writing is not only about saving ideas, it is about bringing order to confusion. Science confirms this. When you write about your emotions, parts of your brain linked to focus, balance, and calmness switch on. Research shows this lowers stress and makes you feel more in charge of your own path. It's like cleaning a dirty mirror and, at last, seeing your reflection clearly. Think of your thoughts like scattered leaves flying in the wind. Out of order, they vanish, but when you write, you collect those leaves and turn them into pages. Pages that tell your progress, keep your clarity, and record your growth. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, writes every day about what he read, what he learned, and even the number of exercises he did, not to brag, but to prove to himself who he is becoming. Because those who write with intention strengthen who they are. You begin to notice repeated mistakes, emotions that return, and step by step you gain more command over yourself. You don't need to write full chapters. You can begin with a single line, an idea that inspired you, an error you don't want to repeat, a fear you want to face, or simply what you learned that day. What matters is that it belongs to you, is honest, and is in the present. This time with paper is like facing a mirror of your soul. It is where you stop escaping from yourself, meet who you were, recognize who you are, and plant the seeds of who you may become. For the next few days, write one line each day, a reflection at night, a memory in the morning, because writing is planting awareness and all real transformation grows from there. If this decision is already rising inside you, write in the comments, "Today I choose to write my growth," because when you place your feelings on paper, you stop being lost inside and begin truly to change. 7. Do not abandon any part of your life. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you lose control of yourself in the tiniest things? A word said without care, a hope that breaks, or the same old complaint spoken again. Many times we don't even realize it, but it is in these small details that our life slips away from our control. It's like every careless act hands over a little bit of your strength for free. And when you put all those pieces together, what remains is the feeling of being dragged by the current instead of holding the wheel of your own boat. For the Stoics, control wasn't being rigid, it was wisdom in practice, knowing what to do with your emotions, your thoughts, and your wants. And this kind of control goes way beyond counting hours on social media or keeping track of time. It is temperance, the ability to use your inner force to grow, not to destroy yourself. The first kind of control is one of the most ignored: dissatisfaction. Complaining might seem like relief, but it is just an emotional habit dressed as honesty. Each complaint you repeat makes you weaker. Each action you take brings your power back. Those who live complaining don't want solutions, they just want excuses to stay stuck. It's like being on a boat full of holes in the middle of the sea. You can blame the holes, the storm, or the one who built the boat, or you can grab a bucket and start throwing water out. Most complain and sink. Those who act take back control, and by acting, they grow stronger. The second kind of control is invisible: expectations. You say, "I didn't see this coming," as if life had to follow your script. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything that happens is expected by those who understand life's nature. Whoever dreams of eternal stability is setting up their own pain." You wanted people to be gentler, the day to be lighter, the plan to work on the first try, but reality is not here to fulfill wishes. It is here to be faced with clarity. Real control is to hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. Another kind of control is in your mouth, in what you choose to say. Words spoken without thought are arrows that come back. Epictetus said, "It is not the events that upset us, but the opinions we form about them." Speaking can heal, but it can also poison. Not every thought deserves to become a spoken word. Another point is controlling impulses: the sudden desire to quit, the urge to answer in anger, the rush to prove yourself right. Impulse ruins results. Temperance is breathing before reacting. Control is not weakness, it is smart strategy. And then comes the quietest control, the story you tell yourself inside. You can repeat, "I am like this and will never change," or decide, "I am learning to become better." This choice shapes your identity, and identity repeated becomes destiny. But be careful. Living with control doesn't mean becoming hard as stone. It doesn't mean hiding feelings, acting cold, or refusing joy. It means choosing with awareness, giving in when you want, because you choose to, not because you can't resist. It means understanding that not everything is up to you, but your response always is. In the next 7 days, train this type of control. Pick silence instead of shouting, action instead of complaining, calm instead of impulse. This is temperance, the gentle force that organizes chaos. And if you already feel this force inside, write in the comments, "Today I choose to master myself," because it is not the outer world that decides your results, but what you do with your inner world. And you can begin at any moment to change your path. Forgive yourself for what you didn't manage before. Remember, your mistakes don't define who you are. They were only the steps that prepared you for this new road. Maybe you think, "I know I need this, but can I really put it into action?" That very question separates those who only want change from those who actually change. Knowing alone doesn't transform life. Act, even if you don't feel ready, and you will see transformation. You are stronger than you imagine. You can change your judgments, your stance, your choices. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire, but still trained his soul through philosophy. Seneca had riches, but practiced discomfort to keep inner freedom. Epictetus owned nothing but taught that true strength is living with purpose, not with impulse. Those Stoic exercises are not rules for approval. They are tools to bring back direction, rebuild strength, and return meaning to life. You don't need to change everything in a week, but you do need a clear vision of the life you want to create and the habits you need to leave behind. Results begin when you trust yourself and act with awareness. Choose one habit, just one, and begin today. Every action you plant now grows into fruits bigger than you imagine. Thank you for being here with me. If these words gave you more clarity, subscribe to the channel. Let's move forward together, learning to live with more awareness, more courage, and more peace.